Hi everybody, today I want to talk about certain paid advertising strategies and approaches for SaaS companies in particular. A lot of SaaS companies are new to digital advertising. Oftentimes that's because the first big phase or first couple of years is all about the product. But when it comes time to advertise, it's important for these decision makers and these companies to first understand what stage you're in the business. If you're at a relatively early stage, maybe you've raised a little bit of a angel capital or maybe seed capital, but you don't have a ton of resources, chances are you're probably trying to establish product market fit. And digital advertising can be very effective at helping you validate or perhaps even disprove certain theories about product market fit. That's because you're really, by getting in front of people who are searching keywords with a particular intent, you are pretty sure that you'll be able to see whether these people are going to receive the product well or they won't, or they might use certain features more than others. But for the most part, the approach to digital advertising when you're trying to establish and clarify product market fit should be one of more of a conservative approach. I would advise you to really try to keep the budgets to an absolute minimum in order to allow you to learn whether or not you have product market fit. So the overall approach in the earlier stages of a SaaS company should be, how can we maximize learnings and minimize budget? Because we're trying to establish product market fit. Now moving on to the next phase, you might be, let's say, approaching a Series A, or maybe you've raised a Series A looking out ahead towards a Series B. At that point, you're pretty much assured that product market fit is there. Probably the investors are also validating that product market fit through their investment. And now it's time to scale. And scale doesn't just mean explosive growth, it means profitable growth, maintaining profitable unit economics while you grow as fast as possible. And the approach to digital advertising when you're at that stage should really be, how can we really turn this into a growth engine? How can we want to have a dynamic budget. We want to be able to capture all the demand that's out there. And how much can we spend? So I think the mindset there is very different. You're trying to provide more agility and more flexibility so you can take advantage and be opportunistic. And that is when large data can really become very advantageous. If you're spending a lot, there's a lot of clicks, there's a lot of conversions, it becomes a virtuous cycle in a way, because that additional amount of data helps Google's and Facebook's algorithms learn even better, optimize even better, and get you better results. So if you are at the scale-up stage, you really should be thinking, how much can we spend while still maintaining these unit economics? How fast can we grow given that amount of spend? And the last approach that I want to talk about here is particularly about bidding on your brand. Oftentimes after you've maybe established your brand, product market fit, you find yourself maybe a couple of years in a competitive category, you can almost be sure that your competitors are going to be bidding on your brand. So the first reason that we almost always advise our clients to bid on their own brand terms in PPC is to protect against competitors, to defend the brand against competitors, because you don't want people who are typing in your brand to be intercepted by a competitor who's ranking number one because they've got the top ad spot. So if that's happening, absolutely you need to defend your brand. If that's not happening, it's often still a good idea to bid on your brand. And that is simply to maximize the real estate that you're getting on the SERP, on the search result page. If most of the time, organically, you're going to be ranking number one with your homepage, but you may not always want to send 100% of your brand search traffic to your homepage. Maybe you want to funnel people to a special offer page, or maybe there's other tactical reasons why you want to divert some of that traffic to a particular campaign. Those clicks are still very profitable, even if you still are paying a small amount. Chances are you'll have a very high quality score, and you will still get a very, very high ROI. And you'll probably get more conversions by getting some additional paid clicks on top of the organic clicks, and that overall will be more profitable. So from that perspective, we almost always advise bidding on the brand. So just to recap what we just covered here, if you're running a SaaS company, you're thinking about how do I approach digital advertising, the first question is, are you doing it to establish and validate product market fit? If that's the case, you should be thinking smallest possible budget for the maximum amount of learnings. If you're in a growth stage, you need to be thinking about how much can we spend given our cash flow situation or whatever it may be, but how can we really turn this into a growth engine, and you want to unleash lots of budgets. And then finally, just with the brand, once your brand becomes known and competitors are going after it, you need to make sure that that is in your campaigns. So that's a bit of a framework, and I hope that was helpful. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.